Hi everyone, welcome to the series Career Conversations, and today's topic is going to be overcoming the feeling of stagnation in your career. So what does it really mean when you feel stagnated in your career, or what do I mean when I say stagnation? So stagnation can feel like that you feel very stuck in your career, you don't see a future in it, you are doubting all your career decisions, you have this sense of realization that wherever I am right now in my career, this is not where I want to be, or I don't see myself doing this in the next 5 years or the next 3 years also. Or there is a sense of disconnection that has started happening in your work. You don't find your work interesting anymore. You always think about, what would it be like to do something else. You sometimes also have a sense of regret or sometimes a sense of guilt. So basically, there are a lot of heavy feelings around your career, or there is a sense of disconnection where you just don't feel aligned with your career anymore. That is what we call career stagnation. Right? Career stagnation doesn't always mean that you may have the realization that I'm stuck in my career, but it can also be other feelings like feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling disconnected, feeling that I just don't want to do this. So I'm going to discuss 3 reasons in depth as to why career stagnation actually happens and what can we do about it. So the very first reason is that your personality doesn't actually align with the career goals that you're pursuing, or the position that you're in, or the career that you're in. So let's take an example, okay? So I'll give you a real life example of one of my clients. So once I was working with someone who was posted like abroad, and from being an individual contributor, they went to a team leader position. And suddenly what started happening was they started getting a lot of career anxiety, even though the position that they were in was a dream position for them. They always wanted that, like they had it in their vision board. But when that happened, when they went from India to Europe, which is something again, right, a lot of people dream about when they want on-site, they realized that they started having a lot of career anxiety, they started blaming themselves, they started having a lot of confidence issues. So when we worked together, what we really found was that this particular person, which was my client, was an introvert and he thrived in an individual contributor position. And because he didn't really understand his personality well enough, he thought that the next level of success is going to be about, managing a team, because that is how we look at career, right? We think of in terms of like positions, we think in terms of, what is going to look good on the paper. We don't really see whether the things that we're aiming for, is it aligned with my personality or not? And that is why this particular client of mine was having a lot of career anxiety, because he simply didn't want to manage a team. It's not like he couldn't, he just didn't want to. So often we force ourselves into positions in life, or we force ourselves into certain situations in our career wherein we want to go completely opposite to our personality, not realizing that our strength is in utilizing what we're good at instead of trying to go the opposite route. So we worked on his confidence, right? Similarly, I worked with a few people wherein they were like really outgoing people, extroverted people, a people's person, and they were working in positions where there was minimal interaction. Right? So they were feeling depressed every single day. I've also worked with people wherein they were in positions like sales where they didn't really want to do it, where I have also had people who were working in, IT, where they didn't really want to work in it, right? Their interest was in people-driven professions. Their interest was in, let's say, resolving people's problems. For example, once I worked with a client who was a software developer and he actually wanted to get into life coaching. So the point is, if you are feeling stagnated in your career, the first thing you need to look at is your personality. Right? What kind of a person are you? What are the things that you like in your life? What are the things that you look forward to? And how much of your personality is being utilized in your career, and how much of it is not, right? If the difference is more than 50%, which means that 50% of the time your personality is being utilized and 50% of the time it's not, it's a pretty big number. So you need to evaluate. And if you feel confused about how to do it and you don't even know where to start, then of course take help. For example, a lot of my clients who were feeling stuck, when they started working with me, they were able to make great career transitions. They were able to make great career changes because we worked on their mindset. We worked on what was right and what was wrong. Because oftentimes when we are facing career stagnation, it can feel like that something is wrong with me, or that I'm not taking the right decisions. But in reality, all you need to do is you need to tackle the right problem. This brings me to the second point. So the second reason, and which is the most overlooked reason why you may face career stagnation, is because your career choices are a result of trauma. What do I mean by this? So a lot of people end up in careers not because they want to, not because they have analyzed what are their strengths and their interests, but because there's unresolved trauma in the past that they haven't dealt with, and that is dictating them. For example, I once spoke to someone who was preparing for UPSC, who was preparing for the examinations, purely because his entire life he has heard that that is the profession that people should go after in his family. So he thought that if he pursued that, if he became IAS officer, his parents would start loving him more or respecting him more. So he wasted 4 years of his life there in a profession he didn't even want to pursue. Right. Similarly, I have spoken to people who are pursuing a particular profession purely because they think it's going to make them more money, right? And that money is going to lead to getting like a lot of respect in family or getting more appreciation. So basically their entire career has been about how can I make more money. And the problem with goals like this, or for example, again, one more person I've spoken to, the only reason they are going after money in their career is because they are very, very afraid of poverty. They are very, very afraid that they will run out of money. Now, the problem with such feelings is that these feelings are very strong, and it's going to make you feel like, no, you're doing the right thing because, your survival mechanism is activated. So what you need to do is you need to actually work on this trauma, because even if you achieve the amount of money that you want or the position that you want, this feeling of emptiness that you have inside is not going to go away, right? So you need to work on your trauma so that you can take informed career decisions, because your career is a result of what you're good at and what you're interested in. Both of them need to combine. You can't force yourself. And the reason you can't force yourself is because career is not a 1 week or a 1 month or a 1 year stint. It is a long stint. And you're going to have to be able to compete with people who are actually good at what they do and who love what they do. And you can only keep continuing to improve in something that you actually like. If you don't like something, you won't be able to improve in it. And that's the truth. So what you need to do is you need to analyze that why am I pursuing this particular career? What am I afraid of? What is my biggest fear when I think about changing my career? What is my biggest fear when I think about leaving my job? What is my biggest fear when I think about reevaluating my career decisions? And you will see. Right? You will see what feelings come up. It could be fear of judgment. It could be fear of failure. It could be, what if people stop respecting me? It could be, what will people think of me? And that feeling is what you need to work on. So here the resolution is get trauma healing done. The third point, which I think is quite obvious, is fear of failure. So when you are very, very afraid of failure, even thinking about what will my career look like, or thinking about, okay, I can change my career, or even accepting that I don't like what I'm doing can be very, very terrifying, because accepting that I don't like what I'm doing would mean that you're going to have to actually change it. And that is going to bring up a lot of fear, a lot of unresolved feelings. So here again, when you're working on fear of failure, don't just work on the mindset, because that deep of a fear doesn't just come from your mind, it comes from your body, which is where trauma resides. So again, here, get trauma healing done. When you get trauma healing done, plus you get deep coaching done, what is really happening is that you're combining what you want, which are your goals, your thoughts, plus the trauma that has been residing in your body, which is you're also working with your emotions. So the career choice that comes out after this deep inner work is a very aligned one. So you need to focus on what is it that you're thinking and feeling, and how much of it is aligning with your career choices, because nobody gets to tell you what is right for you. Only you can decide that. And you can only decide that when you're able to think and feel with clarity and with confidence. If you need help with overcoming career stagnation, feel free to book a one-on-one coaching session with me, and I would love to help you out.